Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Female Footballers Podcast.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Female Footballers Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Female Footballers Podcast. My name is Kassie Gray. I am your host, and I am super excited today to have some big-time guests joining me. Growing up here in the Bay Area, I always dreamed of watching women's professional soccer and someday getting to take my children and my daughter to watch as well. And let's just say maybe it's the third time's a charm with our other iterations, because we now have our first and an all-new NWSL team right here called Bay FC. And today I'm so fortunate to have on two of the badass females that helped it all come together. Please welcome former US Women's National Team players, former NCAA national champions, current broadcast commentators, and original investor founders of Bay FC, Danielle, Slaton, and Leslie Osborne. Welcome, ladies.
Woohoo!
So excited. It's funny how you guys have similar backgrounds. I could kind of lump in the broadcasting, the collegiate experience, and even though it's hard as a Cal Bear, having lost that year, we beat you 2001, the year you won, I believe, in September. But then you went on to win it all. So
you can say you helped us win that national championship.
There you go. That's a great way to look at it. I like that. Well, awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Happy to be here. Let's talk, girl. Let's talk.
So we got a new team here in the Bay, San Jose. So excited. I know it's been a few years, I would say. So can you tell us when and how did y'all come together to kind of ignite this idea of the Bay Area FC or just Bay Area NWSL team?
Yeah, I can get started. It's been a while since we've had a team. In 2011, FC Gold Pride folded. So it's been, I guess, 12 years. And so this is a long time coming. This idea really started 3 years ago when Angel City announced their team. I called up the girls and I said, hey, Angel City's doing this. Why aren't we? And Julie Foudy had connected me to a woman up here that was also trying to get a women's sports team. And her background came from more venture capital. And I called the girls. I said, hey, are we going to do this or not? And everyone was like, yeah, let's do it. Some people had some hesitations. I'm not going to name names. Danielle. But we got on a call and I remember the first thing this woman said to us, and she said, raising money will be the easiest thing that we do. And I think in women's soccer, we had always struggled finding capital, finding people to put their money where their mouth was. And she was right. I think when you have the right group of people, the right mission, and the right founders, it was a really, this 3-year process has been pretty amazing. There's been a lot of obvious bumps along the way, but I think that what will make this group so special is us founders having the experience that we have playing for the national team, playing across multiple leagues, domestically, internationally, and partnering with Sixth Street, a group that brings so much expertise, so much experience, and so much capital and support in this team. And that's really what's going to separate us, I think, from other ownership groups.
Absolutely. Danielle, what was the hesitation? Just because you all are moms, you all have like 3 other jobs. Could it be all that? You guys are busy women.
I'm just the pragmatist of the group. I just am like, okay, how are we going to do this? What's the process going to look like? I'm happy to admit that I was wrong. I needed to just jump in and follow the vision of Leslie, Brandy, and Allie. But like in all seriousness, like the fact that we are so different, I actually think is a real asset to us. We've obviously had a ton of shared experiences in terms of the footballing side of things, but we have different personalities, different styles, and we really balance each other out in that way, challenge each other sometimes in that way. But I think that makeup is part of our strength.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's awesome. So, I was a teensy like this much involved in the fall with a little bit of back-end youth partnerships, and the team that you guys were working with were a bunch of investors, and they were such wonderful people. From that point, it was like October, I would say, of 2022. From then till, let's say, January, when you guys got the bid, you added Sixth Street and Sheryl Sandberg. Can you tell me a little bit about the process of how they came on and how that changed and kind of helped you get the bid?
Sure. You want me to take this one, Danielle?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Allie Wagner, our partner, had a connection to Alan's wife, actually, Charlotte Waxman. They had lunch together. Charlotte was sold. She went to Alan, her husband, and tried to sell the dream too. And Alan said, nope, not interested. 3 months later, Allie again got an opportunity to sit down with Alan and shared our vision, our business plan, everything we wanted to do. And from that moment on, Alan went to his 6th Street team and said, hey, this is an investment opportunity. This is not a passion project. We are going to get a return on our money, and we are going to do something that no other group has done before. It was from, I think, October, November of last year till now that when I say all forces are like going crazy, everyone from 6th Street, from our team, has been working on this 24/7, trying to, hold up the company. There's so many work streams. And it's pretty incredible process, I think, from our perspective in 6th Street. They loved our vision. I think they support us as founders. They understand that there's a real opportunity here and something that hasn't been done in terms of capital injection, in terms of eyeballs, in terms of visibility. And they see this opportunity here, and they believe us, and they want to bring our vision to life. And it's been a really cool process the last 9 months. Danielle, I don't know if you want to add anything.
No, I think you nailed it. I mean, I just think we're really fortunate. I think the 4 of us, me, Leslie, Brandy, and Allie, kind of are tending to be out front in a lot of things, but there are a lot of folks like you, Kassie, doing some of the work that might not get the recognition, but a lot of folks in the background who have supported this vision along the way to get us to 6th Street, to get us to Sheryl Sandberg. Sheryl really brings an interest. She quite frankly doesn't have a ton of background in sports. She makes that known. But her real focus and interest is on women's and girls' leadership development. And she sees the strong correlation between sports and leadership. And so, sorry, my little guy is making noise here in the background. And so she jumped on board with that vision and that desire to really partner what she's doing at her foundation and lean in to what we're trying to build and seeing how we can help each other, not just focus on soccer, but really focus on more than soccer. And whether that is impacting our own players or young girls in our community, or quite frankly, women globally, that's all part of this little corner of the universe we're trying to impact.
That's like my most excited part. I feel like when I heard her come on, hear what we do at Female Footballers with mental skills training and leadership development within the soccer space in this area, I was just so excited to see that there's going to be sort of a pipeline from maybe youth to pro of creating leadership opportunities for girls, and especially in this area. So that was super exciting. So I can only imagine what the last few months have been like for you guys. I know I cross paths every now and then. Leslie, I see on the soccer field every now and then. Danielle, same. But you guys have been, like you said, working 24 hours a day on all of this. What has that been like? Like your other jobs and all the things, like since you've secured the bid, what's it like?
Yeah, I think it's been an interesting process. Us 4 co-founders and ambassadors of the club. And when you're a co-founder, as you know, you run your own company, you're doing a little bit of everything. Since January, we've had our hands in a lot of different work streams. Danielle's been working a lot on facilities. She doesn't have a facilities background, but now she does. I've been working on sponsorships and partnerships and merchandise, just wherever we can help and add value. That's what we've been doing. We have a lot of other things going on, but I think for all of us, this is our number one priority. This is our dream. I think all of us want to be involved in this club and have an influence on this club and trying to help impact in any way we can. And when you're trying to start a company, and we have 9 months now before we kick off, I think our mentality is we will help wherever we can add value. Allie Wagner is the co-chair, so she has more of an official, different role alongside being an ambassador and co-founder. But I can also say that there's probably going to be some of us that are going to have, official roles within the operating roles within the company as well. But right now we are trying to get out in the community as much as possible, trying to engage as many clubs and people, trying to introduce our brand, try to do as much TV and PR as we possibly can. and really try to help this club be in the best position possible for a kickoff in March of 2024. And that is actually crazy to say. Yeah. In 8 months, I guess. So
That is
yeah.
crazy.
It's nuts. We've already been running with our hair on fire, but it's just like going to continue, no question. And I think, to me, like, the real thing for us going forward, if we know, like, we're doing all these things in the background, but we're really focused on building this with the Bay Area community. And so, like, when you look back to previous iterations of women's professional soccer and the WUSA in the Bay Area, like, it is so important that we engage our community and we engage the people who are around us, and really, like, listen and help the community build this with us. And so I guess this is my, like, call to action to people to, like, go to bayfc.com, sign up with the email so you can stay up to date on things, all the announcements. If you want to get merch, you can buy stuff there. Follow us on our social media. I know your gear looks good.
It's pretty, I love it. We got to talk about that.
Follow us on our social media handles, which are We Are BayFC. But, like, we need people to show up. Like Leslie said, when 6th Street got involved, this isn't charity. This isn't, hey, this is a nice thing to do. This is a solid, well-run business, but that requires engagement from our consumers and the community. And so we need you all. We're here to be with you. Reach out to us. Let us know how we can show up, where we can show up. We're pumped to do it. But we need you to show up for us too.
And don't forget, sign up for season tickets. You can put down deposits, and that is very important because they are going fast.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I already did that, which is exciting.
Awesome.
The brand itself, you guys, let's talk about that for 2 seconds. I know that wasn't necessarily on the list of things to talk about, but I love it. And I have to say, Kelly and I, my husband and I, were a little worried because you just never know the direction. After the Thorns jerseys came out, I was like, so Ed Hardy, and we lived that already, so I didn't need more of that. But I love it, and I think it's awesome. And I came home from the event at the Presidio with tons of merch and stickers, and I was so stoked to, like, pass them out. And my daughter has not taken the sweatshirt off for like a week and a half. She won't let me wash it. It's so awesome. So
thank you. Yeah, we're super proud of it. We can't thank Goodby, our partner, enough. Our branding partner, they did an incredible job. They sat us in a room and listened to us. They listened to our vision. We shared everything we had in mind, and they're incredibly creative and amazing. I think it's this great balance of this, like, timeless traditional approach, but also this, like, innovative, cool feeling of being in the Bay Area and wanting to be a streetwear brand and being a global brand and people rocking our B, all over the world. And I think for us, it hit us when we were up on stage at the Presidio, when we looked out and saw 5,000 people rocking our Bay FC stuff. And I think that was the moment we were like, this is real. And this is going to be so cool. And the designer, Ben, he's famous here in the Bay Area, and how he brought it to life on merchandise and streetwear. It's so cool. And the response has been so positive. So we're super excited. We hope, people walked out of that event just rocking our gear and are proud to wear it to school, wear it wherever they're going. Because that's the goal, is to be a global brand, and everyone recognize that B from the Bay.
That jacket too. I can't tell you how many people are like, when are they going to start selling the jacket? It's awesome. It looks so good.
We'll see about that. Yeah.
Yeah. It might just be for you, the founders, huh? We're all going to be like, no, but they got to find some kind of version.
Yeah. We're figuring it out.
So today and yesterday, there's some big announcements about the GM and the CEO. Can you guys talk a little on that? And then if you have any, I know that you're very sworn to secrecy when it comes to who the coach is going to be, where you're going to play. That's the biggest question, is where you're going to play. What can you tell us about who you've hired and what might be coming?
Yeah, I can jump in on that. So we had our CEO announcement on Wednesday. What day was that? June 13th? I have no idea what day. 14th? I have no idea. COVID time. I lost that. Her name is Brady Stewart. Her background is in marketing, and she comes from Levi's and Target. So we thought that was really exciting to bring someone that was kind of outside of the soccer space. We know, with our co-founders that we have a lot of experience in the soccer space. And so bringing someone who could really help us drive the brand and drive marketing and drive ticket sales and come from a little bit of a different sector was something we thought was really valuable. So we're excited and pumped to have her on board and have her start to, hire out the rest of our executive team and the rest of the business side of things. And then on the flip side, we have Lucy Rushton, who was just announced today as our general manager. She'll be in charge of hiring the head coach. Don't know who that's going to be yet. So no news there. But building out the soccer side of things. And her background, she's from Reading in the UK, but has been in the United States, helped build out the scouting department for Atlanta United when they launched in Major League Soccer, has been at DC United in a general manager role, and is super pumped to be jumping to the women's side of things and helping us lead the charge of the soccer side as our general manager. So excited to have them both on board. We're confident that they're going to do big things, and more news to come about a head coach, about where we'll play. None of that is done or dusted or settled or yet. But we're hopeful that we'll be able to make those announcements really soon this summer.
For sure. Yeah, I know a lot of people have been hesitant to put down the deposit because they don't know you're playing. But if you're a true fan of AFC, that shouldn't matter. I'm just going to say that right now. I get it. I live in San Jose. Obviously, San Jose would be nice. But if you're a true fan, you're willing to drive. You all drive to the Warriors Stadium and you go to Levi's. Like, come on now. We can do it. Okay, let's get to like 8 months from now. You got a team here in the Bay. What does that team look like? Who are your like dream gets? Like who you would want on the team? What type of like, you can go into style of play if you want, or if you want to tell me about like the camaraderie piece, the locker room, what that's going to look like. What do you guys think when it comes to dream team?
Well, that's not our role anymore now, is it? That's Lucy's role. No, I think all of us have a pretty good understanding of the type of football we want to play and the beautiful game. And I think that we will be involved with Lucy and help give input. Obviously, we have, a lot of experience in the women's game, and we're happy to help in any way possible. When you think about players, it's so exciting, right? There's so many amazing players. But you have to look at who's available, right? In free agency, we have a window up until the end of June to sign our first player. So that's massive. So you really have to take a look at who's available. And then, we'll have an expansion draft. We'll have the college draft. We can look at homegrown players. But the next 6 months is really, we're not going to have our full roster until the end of that college draft, which is close to January. So it's a nice process, but I think the first key signings are going to be massive for us. When you ask about players that excite us, Sophia Smith always comes to mind. I think she's one of my favorite players. I think
whoever's going to score all of the goals and win the World Cup, that's who I want. So if you can figure that out, I will take that player.
Yeah, it's good time with the World Cup coming up, but it's also an interesting time too when Lucy's looking into hiring, a head coach and coaching staff. So we have to take that into consideration. But I think it's with the World Cup coming up, it's actually a really great time for our team to really look at, who's available and who do we actually want to fill out our roster. And those key signings are really the most important part of the roster because we're going to build off of that.
I would say to add on to that, obviously great to build on the momentum of the World Cup. But also too, just and you mentioned this, Kassie, and this is so important in the work you do, we genuinely care about the people. And yes, obviously we want them to be good footballers, but we want to build this organization and we want players who are going to build this with us and who see the vision and who are part of our culture and our values, which is putting team first, which is, engaging with fans, which is showing up on an authentic way, being bold, being brave. All of those things are really important to us. So yes, we're obviously looking at the footballing side, but we are very much evaluating players as people. And we take a really holistic view of that. And those are, the factors that are all being considered when we're thinking about who's going to be representing and wearing our jersey next spring.
Absolutely. I know for me, I saw Naomi Girma already signed this 3-year extension. I was kind of bummed about that as a San Jose native, but Lynn Williams is looking pretty good as a Bay. I know Fresno's not necessarily the Bay, but I think it does matter having a husband that played for his hometown that we grew up watching. There's something to say about that. So I hope there's at least one kind of goal scorer in the World Cup that also wants to play here, I think that'd be awesome. But that's
Well,
just
and
my,
that's like such the advantage. I mean, it's such an advantage for us. Like, look at how many women come out of the Bay Area or have ties to the Bay Area, whether they grew up here like Naomi Girma, or whether they played college at Cal or Stanford or Santa Clara. So we have a real advantage that we need to make sure we take advantage of in that sense, for sure.
Yeah, I think we have 9 players from the US Women's National teams that have roots here. So you can imagine that there's going to be a lot of interest to come back here. So we're excited about exploring those.
yeah, absolutely. That's super exciting. So going forward, just to kind of wrap some of this up, what are some other things that you are, you're excited about or that you're hoping for when it comes to the brand, the community, the organization as a whole? What are the next steps, future next 8 months? Like, what are some of the things that like you already mentioned, we can be doing season tickets, buying the merch, stuff like that. Other calls to action.
For me, I think we haven't figured out exactly where we're going to be throughout the summer, but like watch parties for the World Cup, festivals that we're showing up to, camps and clinics that we'll be at. So just stay tuned for that, because like Leslie said, we're going to be out and about in the community. We want to connect and hear from our fans, connect and hear about what they want more of. So stay tuned, stay close to that. We're going to be out and about for sure.
Yeah, and we'll be at the US Women's National Team game on July 9th. We'll have a lot of festivities. You'll see Bay FC all over the stadium, really engaging with the US soccer and the players, and really trying to introduce ourselves to as many people as possible and really start to really build out that community there. So look for us there, and we'll have a lot going on July 9th.
Awesome. I will be at both of those. Female Footballers is part of the activation on the concourse of that game. So we'll hope to see you there. And then we also are hosting a watch party where we had some of your people donate some merch for it's a fundraiser. So those of us at Female Footballers, we're hosting a fundraiser. It's gonna be a watch party. We're doing a free clinic for the girls of Oakland Genesis on July 21st. And then we're walking over to Arthur Mack's Tap and Snack for a watch party to watch the first game of the women's national team playing Vietnam. And we have Goal 5, Ida Sports, Women in Soccer, Oakland Soul, Bay FC, lots of people who are contributing merch and gear and participating in it. So definitely check that out. More to come on that from Female Footballers. But ladies, I can't thank you enough for your time, especially, you guys fit me in the craziest schedule I'm sure you have. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We are just so excited. And me as a person who played against both of you growing up, getting to see you all in the roles you're in right now and bringing soccer back to the Bay is just, I'm so grateful to all of you, and all of the little girls that we work with are so excited. I wore this shirt to our last session in Burlingame, and it was really cool to see some little girls who already knew or they were at the event. And it's just, I can't wait to watch soccer grow here. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Kassie.
And thank you for all that you do. It's amazing. And, we appreciate you and everything. So, yep. Look forward to doing more stuff together.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, go check out Bay FC, or is it wearebayfc.com? Or yes.
Yes.
bayfc.com is the website, and We Are BayFC are all of our social media handles.
Perfect. All right, go check those out right now, everybody. Thank you guys so much.